questions are very simple, but most students get it wrong. Here is a question from the 2026 chemistry theory question, the WAEC theory question. Give one example each of the following. I, suspension. I, colloid. So to answer this question, first of all, you have to know the meaning of suspension, and you also have to know the meaning of colloid. What is a suspension? It's a mixture. Suspension is a mixture. Colloid is also a mixture. Suspension is a heterogeneous mixture whereby the particle that dissolve in a solvent is large, that can settle after dissolving. Then while the colloid is also a heterogeneous mixture whereby the particles that dissolve in a solvent is large but not large enough to dissolve. Now, looking at this suspension, examples of suspension. What are the examples of suspension? Examples: sand. Another example, chalk, and others. When you mix, is a mixture of sand and water, you will see that the sand does not dissolve, is insoluble, it forms a heterogeneous mixture, but that sand is settled. That is suspension, and it can be filtered as well. So the particles of that solid, which is sand, is very large and large enough that you can see it with your naked eyes. Then coming to this colloid. What is a colloid? Colloid is a heterogeneous mixture whereby the particles that dissolve in a solvent are large but not large enough to be seen with naked eyes. So it's combined in the sense that you cannot filter it, it cannot settle, and you cannot be filtered. Under there we have examples. We have gel, we have smoke, and under it we also have starch. Okay, starch can be a suspension and can also form a colloid. When you dissolve starch in water, starch plus water plus cold water, it forms suspension. It will settle and can be filtered. Then when you now heat it, it forms a colloid. The same thing with akamu or ogi. When you dissolve akamu in water, it forms a suspension, in cold water suspension, but when you now prepare it with hot water, it forms a colloid. So with this, we've answered this particular question. Then coming to the next question, what is meant by the term isoelectronic series? What is isoelectronic series? Okay.